On World News Tonight this Tuesday, another record day on Wall Street. This time, the market was going up. The hottest political potato in Washington, Kenneth Starr's report to Congress on the president and Monica Lewinsky. Not very long now. And why America is so stuck in traffic. We'll take a closer look.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. It's only been a week. Last week at this time, we were trying to explain why the stock market had suffered through its second greatest point loss ever. And today, when the market went up 380 points, it set a record in the other direction. Just take a look at the graphic. That's what the market did last week, losing 5.1% of its value from Monday to Friday. And there is today. When the market closed up this afternoon, it was slightly above where it was at the very beginning of this year. And the NASDAQ was up today, up more than 94 points, which is also a record. There are several clues to what's been happening, but first the action, and here's ABC's Betsy Stark.
It was a spectacular rally that kept on gaining through the final hour. The Dow Industrials wiped out last week's devastating losses completely. It was a worldwide buying spree of stocks that began in Asia and continued in Europe before heading here. Though many major stocks are still well off their highs of just 6 weeks ago, they made up significant ground today. Last week, McDonald's stood at 55.5. Today, it closed at nearly 64.5. Citicorp is up more than 9 from a week ago. Amazon.com, more than 27. There was little doubt what drove the rally. Most investors interpreted remarks made last Friday by Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan as a hint the Fed might lower interest rates in an effort to keep the U.S. economy growing.
It is just not credible that the United States can remain an oasis of prosperity unaffected by a world that is experiencing greatly increased stress.
The market had excessively corrected on the downside and was looking for a reason to rally on the upside. I think Greenspan provided it.
Market optimists believe the worst may now be over, but others remain suspicious of today's about-face. Asia and Russia remain mired in crisis. Japan remains reluctant to help itself or the rest of Asia, and trouble still looms in our own backyard in Latin America. Aside from that one hint of an interest rate cut, the world looks a lot like it did last week, which means more gut-wrenching rides in the stock market are probably ahead. Betsy Stark, ABC News, New York.
First, so what else might have happened today? We are joined this evening by Steve Schwartz, the editor-in-chief of Smart Money magazine. We heard all those hints about interest rates. Anything else going on?
Well, the world economy is still quite troubled, and what the markets will be looking for in the weeks to come are Japan to take some concrete steps to stimulate its economy, Latin American countries to shore up its economy. So Greenspan's comment about interest rates took some pressure off the world situation, but it's just a good first step.
And what about what Betsy had to say about gut-wrenching rides? Is this what the investor has to look forward to in the weeks and months ahead?
We think there's going to be a lot more volatility until the uncertainty ends, until there's some solution worldwide to the crisis afflicting us. So for investors, this is not a great time to commit more money to the market. It's also not a great time to sell.
And as traditional advice, therefore, holds, protect and pay attention to your own portfolio.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Steve, very much. Steve Schwartz, Money Magazine. In a moment, we'll have some of the day's other news. President Clinton facing the prospects of the independent counsel's report and facing Democrats on the edge. And the $9 ball that could be worth, who knows, what happens to number 62.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Pillsbury Cinnamon Rolls.
What's the difference between Pillsbury Cinnamon Rolls and prepackaged? Wake up to Pillsbury Cinnamon Rolls.
Nothing compares. Woo-hoo! 3 things I always do before our big family picnic. bring my spicy bean dip, make sure there's enough fried chicken for everyone, and I always take a Pepsid AC.
Whatever's cooking, Pepsid AC can stop heartburn before it starts. You can be heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
This week, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol has no van to drive and no checks to deliver. Because this week, Publishers Clearinghouse is putting thousands of real checks right in the mail. If you get an envelope with this green star, open it and you can find a real check for $100,000 that you can take right to the bank. So this week, the Prize Patrol will have to find something else to do.
Yes. Nice one.
Watch for a Publishers Clearinghouse envelope with a green star. There could be a real check inside.
Now that Labor Day is over, Washington is getting back to politics in a big way, and politics in a big way is Kenneth Starr's pending report to Congress in the Monica Lewinsky investigation. President Clinton was out today campaigning for education policy, his education policy, and today he got a very public taste of how he's going to be treated by some other Democrats. Here's ABC's Sam Donaldson.
There was the president at a Silver Spring, Maryland school to talk about educational needs. And there was the state's lieutenant governor, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, by his side. But the governor, Democrat Paris Glendening, was absent. Up for re-election this year, Glendening chose to campaign in the Baltimore suburbs.
I made a commitment to be here, and I'm pleased to be here.
Leaving Mr. Clinton to shake hands with the school children in Silver Spring under the disapproving eyes of a small band of demonstrators just down the street, all by himself. The message, the president is seen by Glendening as a liability, not an asset. Other Democrats are stepping up to step out of the Clinton orbit as well. California Senator Barbara Boxer, also in a re-election battle this year, spoke today on the Senate floor.
We certainly know about the president's relationship. It was wrong, it was indefensible, and in any case, he should have taken responsibility much earlier.
Indeed, Senate Democratic leader Tom Daschle said if voters don't like what the president has done, they should take it out on him, not other Democratic candidates.
This is a matter relating to one individual, and they'll have to pass judgment on the president, and they will do so.
Aides to the president say Mr. Clinton is angered by these Democratic defections, but as a seasoned politician himself, he understands it. Tomorrow morning, he'll meet with House Democratic leaders to discuss the effects of this scandal, among other things, and all week long, he's going to be talking to a wide range of people, asking advice as to how he should react when the independent counsel's report is made public. White House officials say a number of ideas are kicking around, but nothing is set. And the fact is, Peter, one gets the strong impression that as far as strategy goes now, they're making it up on a day-to-day basis.
Sam Donaldson in Washington. Now the Star report itself. We do not know all of the details, but we do know it will be long and it will be tough, and it may well be graphic. ABC's Jackie Judd is in Washington.
Sources familiar with Ken Starr's investigation of the president say an executive summary has been drawn up that will read like an indictment, alleging perjury, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and abuse of power. It will be followed by nearly 1,000 pages of documentation, including lurid details of Mr. Clinton's encounters with Monica Lewinsky, to demonstrate the president lied under oath when he denied having sexual relations with her. Sources also tell ABC News that a copy of Mr. Clinton's videotape testimony from last month also will be sent to Congress. Starr's office is now working in near round-the-clock shifts. Sources say all the material for the report is being funneled through two key prosecutors, Brett Kavanaugh, a constitutional expert, and Stephen Bates, an author of several books.
And late today, Starr rejected that request from Mr. Clinton's attorney that he get an advance copy of the report. But advisors hope they still may have gained something in the process, the chance to argue again that Starr is an unfair prosecutor. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
In Washington today, for the third time in a month, the Attorney General Janet Reno has begun a 90-day investigation into whether an independent counsel should be appointed to look at Democratic campaign fundraising. This one focuses on whether the Clinton campaign illegally used the Democratic Party's so-called issue ads to evade spending limits during the 1996 campaign. When we come back, nuclear workers, unpaid, upset, and letting everyone know about it in Russia and elsewhere, so why the rest of the world should be concerned.
Marty's here. Let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Probe. A starter for a Saab.
See you tomorrow, Marty.
Now get Pennzoil Motor Oil, just 89 cents a quart.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Right, Seattle. I start my job on Monday. I want to do something about my retirement plan.
Okay, no problem.
Jane, Andy, please.
Sounds like your hands are pretty full there. Don't worry about this. A rollover specialist can handle all the transfer paperwork for you and make sure you avoid penalties. We can also help you with the new tax laws.
Oh, thanks. You've been a really big help.
Oh, good. Good luck with the move.
Oh my gosh, it's late. I better make you some dinner.
Look, Mommy. Mommy, look what I made for you.
That's beautiful, honey. You know what? I'm gonna make something special for you too.
Tonight, make them something that comes from the heart, not the freezer. Campbell's soup and sandwiches. Dinner with a lot of love that's not a lot of time.
So what else did you learn in school today?
Sharing.
Campbell's. Good for the body, good for the soul.
When I've only got an hour a night to be a good dad, I wolf down dinner. No wonder I end up with after-dinner heartburn.
I'll be back, guys.
Good thing Malox goes to work fast.
1 minute Malox, cooling quickly. Malox goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepcid AC could take over 45 minutes to affect acid.
I can beat after-dinner heartburn, but not the nights of doom.
1 minute Malox fights after-dinner heartburn fast.
If you can do this, you can make wood beautiful with Minwax. And if you can do this, you can give wood lasting protection. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
In Nova Scotia today, several more clues, but no absolute answers in the crash of Swissair Flight 111. Investigators reveal today they have found signs of what they call heat stress on small pieces of the plane's cockpit. They also say the flight data recorder showed many irregularities well before the crash. Focus of the investigation now is on possible electrical problems. A charter jet belonging to a Swissair subsidiary had to return to Halifax Airport last night because of smoke on board. The Bel Air flight was on the second leg of a trip from Zurich to Vancouver with a stop in Halifax. No one was injured. The company said a short circuit caused the smoke. In Russia today, no resolution to the political crisis, no money to pay the workers, and a very clear reminder to the rest of the world of how dangerous all this is. ABC's Jim Wooten's in Moscow.
This is not just another protest by unpaid Russian workers. These demonstrators make and maintain Russia's 17,000 nuclear weapons and run its dozens of nuclear power plants. 1 million strong, they're very unhappy and threatening to strike. Some already have, and if they all do, leaving Russia's aging nuclear apparatus untended, it could be a calamity waiting to happen. Another Chernobyl, warns one of the leaders of their union. Ivan Gradobitov says the current state of affairs could easily lead to an accident. Even if they are working, says Alexander Timonov, who dismantles nuclear weapons, a hungry person's mind is not on his work, and that could cause a tragic mistake. That may be an exaggeration, but thousands of these workers, once among the best paid in the old Soviet Union, haven't been paid in months. The government has run out of money, and that makes international experts nervous. Mr. Gradobitov says he's nervous, even about himself, what he and others might do on the job. If I'm angry, I could do anything, he says, not only by mistake, but even intentionally. There are real concerns here. Just yesterday, 2 smugglers from former Soviet republics were arrested in Turkey trying to sell stolen uranium and plutonium. And with 1 million nuclear technicians in Russia now, all of them unpaid, no one is suggesting that cannot happen again. Jim Wooten, ABC News, Moscow.
Still overseas, how bad is the flooding in Bangladesh this year? The entire capital city of Dhaka is on the verge of going under after 2 months of monsoon rain. There is so much fear of disease, the government is handing out clean water to residents standing in floodwater up to their waist. Nearly 800 people have died, and the waters may not even begin to go down until next week. A horrifying accident reported today in Brazil. 50 people on their way home from a religious festival were killed when a tanker truck carrying diesel fuel flipped over, rammed by 2 tour buses on a highway north of Sao Paulo. The spill of fuel caused the truck and the buses to explode, and dozens of people in the buses burned to death. We'll be back in a moment and take a closer look.
Introducing Real Milk Chocolate, chewy caramel, and crunchy nuggets in a scrumptiously delicious new bar, fortified with antioxidants, bone-building calcium, and essential proteins. The delicious, nutritious new Boost Bar. Get your recommended daily allowance of chocolate crunch.
Let me help you. I'll do it. I can do it.
Arthritis has claimed these hands. But take comfort. In the medicine arthritis experts recommend first, Tylenol. Tylenol is simply the most trusted combination of strength and safety in arthritis pain relief today. Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
Looking for cleaner, healthier water? Get the new Pure Plus pitcher. The only pitcher that reduces both chemicals and microorganisms. Get more out of your water. Get new Pure Plus.
You see a business deal. At Sprint, we see data. Data that lays the groundwork, that allows people to collaborate. It's the sharing of information that helps build business. And with Sprint Ion, our integrated on-demand network, will soon be linked together with even greater ease, flexibility, and power. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
Man, this gray hair makes me look old.
Then do what I did. Get rid of it.
You were gray? I never knew that.
No one can tell you use the remarkable hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
Even I can't tell what used to be gray. Thanks.
Just for Men. Looks so natural, even friends can't tell.
We're going to take a closer look at commuting tonight, though it might seem a cruel thing to do now that summer is officially over. But there's nothing like the day after Labor Day to remind us that life returns to normal. There's normal Los Angeles this morning, and increasingly it is the same situation in any number of American cities. The average American commutes about 5,800 miles a year now. ABC's Barry Serafin reports tonight on the pain.
Southbound, avoid it like a bad rash.
No mercy for folks making their way through Gwinnett County on Sound.
If you live and work in an urban area, you probably know how Atlanta commodities broker Jim Miller feels in the morning.
I just cannot stand the traffic that you have to go through to get from one place to another in the city.
And how advertising coordinator Andrea Lattimore feels on her way home.
This is awful. You know, you're tired from your day, especially if you've had a hard day. This is what causes road rage.
Ironically, economic prosperity is partly to blame. Few cities have grown as fast as Atlanta in recent years, and traffic has grown along with it. The average motorist here drives 36.5 miles a day, the longest commute in America.
If you add the 3 million people in Atlanta together, we all drive over 100 million miles a day, and that's like driving from here to the sun.
Atlanta's rapidly expanding metro area is now 100 miles across. That kind of growth has produced a dramatic change in commuting patterns. But the system of roads and rails originally designed for commuters remains largely unchanged. And that has made traveling to and from work even tougher. Highways in Atlanta, like most other cities, were meant to carry commuters from the suburbs to downtown and back. They built a perimeter highway to help get people around the city, but it is now choked with traffic going from suburb to suburb. That is just what's happening around the nation. 36 million commuters now drive from one suburb to another, more than double the number traveling to center cities. Atlanta struggles to deal with its commuter problems with the help of 500 roadside cameras that feed images into a sophisticated traffic center. But they do not solve the problem.
Dark color car.
There's another accident back
It's
here.
a dark colored car.
Because the system mainly monitors downtown arteries, not congested suburban highways. Rail Service 2 primarily serves downtown commuters. Some companies, such as Georgia Pacific, are trying to encourage van pools.
I save approximately 18,000 miles per year on my car.
But there are few takers. One reason is what traffic experts call trip chaining. Many motorists make stops during their daily commute to take care of personal errands. Urban planners say more mass transit is needed and smarter growth, bringing homes and jobs closer together. But the sprawling Atlanta area is blocked from pursuing the most obvious answer. Because of the air pollution already produced by all of the traffic here, the metro region is prohibited from using federal highway funds to build any more roads. Barry Sarro from ABC News, Atlanta.
Well, take heart, or at least hang on. There is help out there. Mind you, it's expensive too, but in the absence of more roads, there are some interesting experiments. Information is the key.
Welcome to Smart Travelers.
40,000 Boston commuters with car phones have subscribed to a service that gives them up-to-the-minute road conditions.
Big problems if you're traveling on the Mass Pike eastbound.
Trouble spots on the major roads into Boston are monitored by television cameras. When drivers call in, they hear which roads are overcrowded.
Here is the travel report for Route 3 between
20,000 commuters say their driving time has been cut considerably. In Seattle, you can buy a wristwatch pager for $80, and a main computer with your driving route on record will beep you if there's a problem on your route. And here's a glimpse of the future. An experimental stretch of highway near San Diego where vehicles with onboard computers receive signals from magnets placed along the roadway that keeps all the cars going at the same speed at the same distance from one another. Someday, the engineers envision a whole stream of cars going 90 miles an hour, only inches apart, and safely. That's the kind of bumper-to-bumper traffic anyone can appreciate. But you didn't notice it was animation, right? Sometime in the future. In a moment, what happens to number 62 after it leaves the park?
We know all about it. Some people throw away the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes without even opening it up. Well, this week, that could be a costly mistake. Because this week, if you throw away a Publishers Clearinghouse envelope with this green star, you could be throwing away a real check for $100,000. There are thousands of real checks right inside selected envelopes marked with a green star. Checks you can take right to the bank. So watch for a Publishers Clearinghouse envelope with a green star. There could be a real check inside.
Anne Klein Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see fearlessness.
The unexpected.
I want you to see you don't need words to make a statement. Let them see you in Anne Klein Eyewear by Luxottica.
While paramedic Dave McLeod checked the equipment before the day's first call, someone else was on Realtor.com helping Dave's family search for their first home. Later, as he was racing to his sixth call, someone else was at the bank reviewing Dave's mortgage. And while Dave was helping deliver a healthy set of twins who couldn't wait for the hospital, someone else was delivering his cashier's check to the title company. You've got a life. We let you live it. We're Realtors. Real estate is our life.
You can get your dentures fresh or extra fresh. Only Efferdent Plus has Listerine ingredients to get them extra fresh. Efferdent Plus. The plus is extra freshness.
What happens when the best journalists in television come together? Stories that touch your life. The New 2020. See it Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. The New 2020. 3 nights a week, beginning Wednesday, September 16th.
Just a brief review of the main story. The Dow Jones Industrials rose 380 points today. That's the biggest point gain there's ever been in a single day. Most investors were apparently reacting to remarks made last week by the Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan, which investors interpreted to mean that the Fed would consider lowering interest rates to keep the U.S. economy growing. So finally from us this evening, now it is 62 home runs that has everyone's attention. One more than Roger Maris's record that McGwire tied yesterday. Another game tonight between St. Louis and Chicago. McGwire and Sammy Sosa, huge crowds for batting practice today. They're the easy ones, of course, to hit into the stand, and they'll be great souvenirs someday. But nothing like the one that marks 62. ABC's Dean Reynolds tonight on McGwire Watch in St. Louis.
Mark McGwire's home run balls begin life as nondescript 9-buck circles of cowhide. But the worth of number 62 could fly as high as the tape measure shots McGwire has lofted in parks all over the country.
To say that it could fetch upwards of $1 million would not be out of the question.
Fans here were debating all day what they should do with 62.
Money or no money, I just think it belongs to Mark McGwire.
If you give the ball to Mark McGwire, you're going to be a hero with a lot of your family and friends.
Absolutely.
If you don't, if you sell it, now you're a greedy SOB.
While those retrieving earlier drives have been risking life and limb to get them, not to mention being practically frog-marched from their seats by guards protecting the genuine article,
Mark McGwire, baby!
most have just given the balls back.
Pleasure meeting. Great grab, huh? You grab it in the air? No, it rolled to me.
For giving them back, the fans got autographed bats, a McGwire jersey, even their very own press conference, if you call that a thrill. But there's a huge gap between the runners-up and the record breaker. This fellow said today he would pay $1 million for number 62 so he can use it as a promotional tool.
It's an instant recognizable piece to have. If you say you own this piece, that's good for your company forever. You'll always be known as the company that handled this piece.
A favorite target for Mark McGwire is way up here in the left field bleachers at Busch Stadium. The fans here are always primed, as well they should be, because it takes about 10 seconds at the most for a home run ball from McGwire to reach their section. They have to be very quick and very lucky to get one. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, St. Louis.
Just one footnote to this. You may have heard these reports floating around today that if the person who catches the ball gives it back to Mark McGwire, somehow they would be subject to gift taxes by the Internal Revenue Service. No way, says the IRS Commissioner Charles Rosati, and fairly quickly. Sometimes, he said, the tax code can be as hard to understand as the infield fly rule. The fan who gives back the ball deserves a round of applause, not a tax bill. When it happens, we'll be there. That's our report on World News Tonight. Don't forget Nightline. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Hope we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Tomorrow, the Clinton scandal. From Washington to your front door. Think your community's not affected? Watch this. A closer look on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News. Now